Winter is coming.
Where are my dragons?
In the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die.
The things I do for love.
A Lannister always pays his debts.
Chaos is a ladder.
Hodor.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
We
are the Rewatchers on the wall.
It's Rickon, right? Dick on, my lord. Dick on. Like a dick. Like a penis on a penis on. You can just turn it on just like dick on. It's a button. It's a button. Welcome to the Rewatchers on the Wall. My name is Mitchell Marshall. Wow. So it's season 7, episodes 4 and 5.
Yep.
And it's a big old hootenanny. And by the way, this week our podcast is brought to you by Netflix, and specifically canceled Netflix shows.
We're sponsored by all them classics. Like,
We are actually doing
Hemlock Grove and
we're broadcasting
Instant
live
classics.
from a
Sense8.
women's prison right now. Orange is still the new black. Experience it from day one on Netflix.
Oh, can't wait.
Tyler, hey, how about you tell us what happened in these episodes?
Everything?
Everything.
You want to know everything that
Throw
happened?
it down.
All right. Season 7, episodes 4 and 5 of Game of Thrones. Jaime is escorting the payload back to King's Row, landing. The Tarleys are shaking out farmers. The Iron Bank is ready to give the Lannisters even more money. Littlefinger gives Bran the disappearing dagger. Mira says goodbye. Arya returns to Winterfell, but no one recognizes her, so she just sneaks past Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Sansa finds Arya in the crypt. Arya tells Sansa about her list, and they visit her teenage robot brother. Bran knows everything. We get it. Missandei kisses and tells. Jon shows Dany some hieroglyphs and wants to command a child army. Tyrion brings news from Casterly Rock. Jon advises her to surprise the people of Westeros. Arya asks Brienne to train with her, and they fight. Davos and Jon discuss Dany, and Missandei extols Dany's virtues. Theon arrives, and Jon greets him. Turns out Dany is not there. She's attacking the payload. The Lannisters are getting roasted. Bronn is chased and then gets on the big dragon gun. Drogon gets hit in the shoulder with the big dragon bullet, and Jaime charges Dany even though there's a big-ass dragon right by her. Bronn tackles him off his horse at the last minute and into a watery grave. Just kidding, he's alive. Tyrion surveys the battle's aftermath while Dany gathers the survivors and gives them a choice. The Charlies choose poorly and are roasted. Jaime tries to get Cersei to understand just how fucked they are. Jon pets a dragon, and Dany likes it. Jorah is back. Jon recons the walkers, then sends ravens to everyone in the world. The Maesters think the letter is ridiculous, even after Sam tells them how legit it is. Varys tells Tyrion to grow a backbone. The Northern Lords are growing restless, and Arya is mad Sansa isn't standing up for Jon more. Tyrion visits Jaime with an offer for Cersei. Davos finds Gendry, and Gendry is raring to go. We get to see Davos in his element, then Gendry smashes Gold Cloak's face with his huge hammer. Jaime tells Cersei about Tyrion, and Cersei tells Jaime about their baby. Gendry and Jon reignite the Stark-Baratheon alliance. They are going beyond the walls so they can bring a White Walker back to King's Landing. Gilly is training for bar trivia. When Sam decides they're leaving Old Town, Arya stalks Littlefinger and finally finds some incriminating evidence in his mattress, and now he is watching her. Jorah says goodbye to Dany again. Jon, Davos, Jorah, and Gendry arrive at the East Watch. Tormund has Beric and the Dondarrions in the cell, and now they are all going beyond the wall. What is this, a crossover episode? Brought to you by BoJack Horseman show on Netflix.
is BoJack Horseman canceled?
What?
No.
No, that's one of the ones that got us anyways.
Oh, okay.
They've been on the verge, I feel
Yeah.
like. And
No, yeah, I've heard about it.
It was borderline when they
announced
decided
it,
to, give us our spot. So, well, those are 2 episodes. So far, season 7 is really different. And now that we're the majority of the way through it, how do you feel about it?
I like it.
You like it?
Here's the thing. It's fast. I like it.
It moves like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, I actually like that part of it because Game of Thrones, I feel like, has introduced the big mystery from the very beginning, and it's just been slow trickle of information on that front, and now we're finally getting to where it's going to come to a head, and I'm glad we don't have to wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that slow burn I really appreciate in the early seasons, but kind of at this point I'm like, sweet, yeah, let's get to it. Like let's
especially
bring
when you've been
together.
binging it, because Tyler and I were talking about how different it feels watching it this way. And I mean, I think HBO would have loved this to go on for 10 to 12 years, but that's not what's best for storytelling. I don't know if this speed is what was ultimately best because it's just so jarring compared to the other seasons, but I understand that like those actors and those writers and those production people, like there's a point when this has already been almost a decade of their lives and you had to get it done. But yeah, no, I enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, right with you. I feel I'm ready for it to move that, but it is a little bit jarring every time I see it. That it almost feels like kind of checkboxy at times, where it's like, oh, we need this to happen, so here it is, very next scene, here it is, and which I feel like this season has its pros and cons for its speed for me, at least in my personal taste. Things I like about it, things I don't like about it, but.
Well, I will say this season does feel more like a traditional show in this vein of what this show is, and
That's a good way to put it.
I'm not sure it's a bad thing for me at this point. I'm actually like I don't hate it at all. Like I don't feel like it's detrimental at all to where we're at, because I feel like, especially since season 4, I've felt there are a few things that's like they haven't always delivered on the character development for me like they did in the first 4 seasons. And so for it just to be like, okay, yeah, I know who these characters are. I know where they're at in their journeys and everything. Let's get the big bads in and let's see it. You know what I mean? I'm kind of at that point where I'm like, okay, let's start wrapping these mysteries up. Going, especially knowing that like there's only 8 more episodes that we have to watch, like 2 more in this season and then 6 in
Correcto
season 8,
mundo.
right? So I'm like, yeah, so this feels good, and yeah, and they are kind of checking those boxes off, because it's like Dany's in Westeros, big check. Dany uses her dragons in a big way, check. Jon meets Dany, check. You know what I mean? Like there's these collision of all these characters and stuff, and yeah, so it's interesting. It is different, but I like it.
And I think they work their butts off to set all this up, so nothing, even if it moves and feels a little bit different from the other seasons, nothing seems like it was ridiculously put together. Like all of these things have been built over that time. Let's start with Jaime and the Loot Train battle, which when I first heard it, I was like, that is how they refer to it.
That is how it is.
It is like that's how the showrunners refer to it, and I'm like, it sounded a little silly at first, but I'm in. It is a train of loot. I love anytime someone sees dragons for the first time.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh man, when Jaime saw him, I was just like, this is just beautiful.
Did you two, watching it for the first time, have a fear during this battle that any character was going to die that you may have not wanted to?
I thought Bronn was going to die for a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't think Jaime was going to die at all. Like,
even when he was stupidly charging. That's the thing. My heart was beating, but I was like, they can't. He's just got too much to wrap up.
Yeah.
But that's when I was like, maybe they'll subvert my expectations, which, is a big part of George's writing. But they are so far past George at this point that George and me we're on a first name basis. Just you guys.
I just call him G.
G?
Yeah. Well, actually, I call him Gurm.
But yeah, I was really worried about Bronn, because I was like, Jaime, that's much less likely. But Jaime can swim in full armor. I don't know if you guys know.
That's the thing. I've also felt Bronn when I first watched it, that Bronn was out at that moment, because I mean he is a character that's not in the books after like book 3, and he's kind of fulfilled his purpose. So yeah, I was kind of expecting him to go, not wanting him to go. Wasn't sure if the dragon was going to die.
Well, and he dropped some gold. Yeah, you are worried about the dragon, but I was like, it's a little, with a whole season to go after this, it's a little soon.
I was really glad they didn't, because I was like, really, they're gonna build just like a regular siege weapon, and that's what's gonna take it out immediately? Like that would have bothered me quite a bit. Yeah. Something that does bother me, and I've got a bone to pick.
Pick it.
I am done with them trying to manipulate me, thinking and insulting my intelligence by cutting when someone's underwater and then being like, oh, they're gonna drown, and then they cut to black and they leave it there. I'm like, that's the second time this show has done that.
Yeah.
But the billionth time any show has done that, and we're done. No one's falling for it. No one believes it. Netflix, you're our sponsor. I know you're listening. Change starts with you. You've won an Oscar. You're on a roll. Stop this bullshit. All right? That's my rant.
Yeah. I concur.
Bronn and him have some good banter before this all happens. They're just strolling back. They've got all this gold. Bronn wants his castle. How funny will it be if Bronn just gets Harrenhal after all this? The Lannisters win, and like, this is a big legendary castle.
And he gets burned to the ground a second time. There's like one tower left.
Oh, the Iron Bank is pretty, like, paying them back, like, that's a big deal. it's an interesting how they've kind of come in to be a player in this.
Yeah.
A playa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's interesting. All that stuff. That was a cool development. Like, I do think it is interesting. Like, going back, we've already talked way too much, like, outside of like the structure of this season. But I want to address it just one more time. Is like, this battle does feel like a season ender. And like the whole thing with the Iron Bank, I could have easily seen them stretching into 10 episodes. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
But that very easily could have been Cersei's storyline this season while we focused on other things. And so it does feel like a big moment. Like, it does feel like the moment a character might die. It feels like a big shift. But in this season, it's like, it's probably not even the biggest thing that's going to happen. I mean, I assume that's. I mean, I think there's still like one or two.
I don't think it's a spoiler to say it's not. It's not the biggest thing that happens because it's in episode 3.
Right. Yeah. Or 4.
4.
But yeah, it does. It is interesting. Like, that's just another kind of, I think, commentary on the weirdness of this season. So, but yeah,
it's fun. Like, it's fun just watching that dragon. They definitely stepped up the CGI, just blowing stuff up. We kind of get to see it from mostly Bronn's perspective. Tyrion starts to watch, and you can kind of see he's worried about his brother, and he's kind of disgusted by the destruction. Like, this is what he's feared that Dany's going to do to King's Landing. But it's like, nah, dude, like, she has to do this. It kind of it's one of the first times where I was kind of like not on board with Tyrion's character motivations, that this would kind of scare and irk him. But maybe he's just worried about his brother. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is cool to see. It was fun to see. Not just the dragon, but I saw the Dothraki fighting people. Like, they're not used to the Dothraki. That's a whole shock for them. Yeah. And this dragon comes out of nowhere. There's a lot of beautiful cinematography in this battle.
It looks so
that
good.
I noticed that I wasn't expecting and don't remember there being there the first time. A moment that stands out to me especially is when Daenerys' dragon's been shot and she's pulling the spear out. She lands, and then Jaime sees her, and it's kind of from his point of view, and just kind of going into his head a little bit of thinking like, man, I thought I killed the last of these silver-haired bastards, and there's one right there with a dragon. And like, I don't know, that moment's kind of like, it's not explicitly stated, but it was powerful for me in a weird way.
I like that Jaime just goes for it. Like,
You could have almost just cut to black right there and just had the title card Kingslayer 2. Back to slaying.
I agree with you definitely about the Dothraki, though. Like, you gotta think, Dothraki are mostly pillagers. Like, they're not in war. It was fun to, like, hear the rumble and then just see them come out and just start wrecking people. It was way beautiful.
Well, it's been stated in the show before, too. In, like, season 1, when Robert's super worried about it, they're like, we can't beat them in the open field.
Yeah.
There's no way. We have to hide in the castles, essentially.
Yeah.
And they were, like, shooting a bow from a horse.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like Mongolians.
Yeah.
Well, they're not unlike
They're
Mongolians.
kind of like that. That's honestly what I think about. Is that
They're like Native Americans meet Mongolians. Like,
How did you guys think Dany did in her first battle moment here in the wall?
Great.
I liked it.
See, I think she was a little... As soon as she saw one arrow fly past, she flew right at him. And just shows how she's very, like, reactive.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we don't know that at this point...
But she almost got the thing killed.
Yeah, well, I mean... With the point that we're at in Dany's arc, I think maybe the next important thing is that one or multiple of them die. I think that's...
I'm still very attached to her children.
I mean, that's fine, but I will not be surprised. I think that's... From what we've seen, like, that may be the meaningful thing that changes
Like, it has
Dany
to happen?
forever.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Well, let's talk. The other two characters we kind of get POV here are Dickon and his dad. It's so weird to think that Sam, this character we've known all along, these are his family, and all of a sudden they're getting a lot of play, and they're very prideful, and they end up dying. Also, at the beginning, Randall Tarley is like, he's totally DTF. He's just like, let's flog these people.
Yeah.
And Jamie's like, no, that's not. We don't need to do that.
Necessary.
Yeah, the Tarleys are the alt-right.
That works.
Maybe. They're extremely nationalist and they're just assholes, like, and they're idiots. So, I don't know. It's really... I hate them. They do a good job at making me hate them. And they're not on very much.
Randall Tarley is a weird one for me in this set of episodes because he seems to just kind of want to die at the end.
Well,
there.
he's torn. He's like, I
because he's already
chose this queen, but I don't really like her.
Yeah, he's already betrayed Olenna, but then he like goes off about his honor and his oaths. I'm like, dude, shut up.
Well, and that's the thing.
Well,
I
Danny
mean, he
does
goes
call him
off
out.
about his honor and oaths, and he's like, and you don't even go here. Like, you're not even from here. You're from far away, so I hate you. Like,
She doesn't even go here.
I was like, roast this dude. Like, get him out.
He just has a lot of feelings. And yeah, and then stupid Dickon is like, yeah, I'm going to die for this too. Keep your family name alive. Oh, wait, we got another Tarly, motherfuckers. We don't need you. He's got the Valerian sword. I ride pretty hard for Team Sam, as does Gilly. What up? What else happens here? I don't know where to go. It's so hard because of the way that this jumps around now.
Yeah.
Well, let's just keep going with what happens with Jaime, because we're going to have to talk about how Tyrion gets here. But Bronn sets up a meeting for Tyrion and Jaime, and it's pretty cool to see the brothers reunited, and you forget how mad Jaime really is, but Tyrion's got a point. He's like, look, what was I supposed to do?
Yeah. I wish we'd seen Bronn and Tyrion
They're
together
reunited.
Yeah.
a little more. Like, just because I'm interested in that. I'm, like, invested in that a little bit, and so I was a little bummed that we didn't see any of that, and that all stuff.
They would
kinda
be a
took
great
up place
couple,
off
too.
stage.
If we didn't know how horny they both were for the females. Beautiful.
They could be like the Chuck and Larry. They could marry for the benefits.
Yeah.
And then just be each other's wingmen.
Yeah.
You know? What a weird relationship that would be. That's the Deuce crossover episode. Dude. Anyways, yeah, so that was really interesting. And that was another like reunion. Like, I guess maybe that's the theme of this season so far is family reunion.
Yeah.
Because Arya's back, Bran's back, Jon meets Dany. They don't know yet, but we do.
Ayo.
And yeah, and then Jaime and Tyrion. Like it's a lot of those family relationships, like clipping back together. Man, they're coming together.
I thought you were doing shadow puppets. Here's the Starks. Here's the other Starks.
My podcast persona is a hand puppet that's just my hand.
You guys don't know this, but through all of these hours,
No
he's
dresses
just been talking with his hand.
And while he's doing that, we got Davos going down the mean streets of King's Landing.
Did you guys think we'd see Gendry again? Because I like when we were just like,
No.
dude's still rowing.
I didn't. No,
I
I
didn't.
didn't at all.
It was kind of I was like, I don't know if we need it, but this is a little fun little delight.
Yeah.
And he's ready to go.
He has a hammer. Just
Yeah.
smash his head.
Well, it's always said that Robert uses a war hammer, so it's interesting that this is the first time we've seen one in action really in the show.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
No.
And he kills a couple dudes pretty
I
quick.
didn't know that was a genetic trait, but apparently your choice of weaponry.
Honestly,
I got brown eyes and hammer wielding.
Also, I'm a little promiscuous.
And I got my papes for the day.
I work in an armory and I also sell newspapers.
Flea Bottom is New York City.
That's exactly how Gendry said. He's buff too, dude.
Yes, Gendry looks good.
Also,
Hey, he's hot off the presses.
Hot after presses, I got armor. I got the story of the day. Cersei's the worst sister wife of all time. All right.
does fermented crab actually is it work?
You mean in real life?
Is it
Yeah.
supposed to be a thing in real life?
I don't know.
Well, I just thought, how bad would fermented crab taste?
They
That
do
would
let
be trouble.
Arya just sell seafood in a brothel.
That's
in,
true.
I mean,
you
I
know.
think I have heard something about seafood being great for erections, but I don't know if it's.
Oh, I
true or
hate
not.
seafood.
Oh, that
That
explains
explains
a
a
lot.
lot. Yeah.
Have you guys been talking to my third wife again? All right. Looking for number 4.
But yeah, I love that scene with Davos. Davos has some of my favorite moments in these episodes. First of all, the way he lights up whenever Missandei is in the room for some reason.
It's so
I don't know if
cute.
it's just the weird genetic creepy old man side of him that's like,
So,
do you want some
can we
candy?
talk about
Like,
Narth?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to get in my van? I'm going to Narth.
It's like adorable. I don't know how Missandei feels about it.
No, I think she's
But
weirded
it's-
out. for
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's definitely a weird thing. But yeah, his scene with Gendry, like, kind of immediately in the blacksmith thing, where he's like thinking he's probably gonna have to convince him a little bit, and Gendry's like, "Yeah," he's like, "I'm packed already. Let's go." And then that scene on the beach, that in talking about this season, we haven't had a lot of scenes like that where they really just give a lot of time to these weird scenes, and we just get to see him go into full smuggler mode and totally bamboozle these gold cloaks that have come down. And then Tyrion kind of ruins all of that just by existing in the
Showing
same
up
space
at the
as
wrong
them.
time.
And then we see Gendry smash their faces in.
He just goes
pretty
for
good.
it.
Yeah, I liked it.
I like that beach is supposed to be like this hidden smuggler spot. I'm like, it looks pretty, I don't know.
Really open.
It's right at the bottom of the stairs.
To a castle.
But there's a lot of stairs, you know. People don't want to go
True.
on those.
It's true.
That's true. Stairs are a pain in the butt.
Not a lot of boogie boarders in King's Landing.
Yeah.
That place would be packed.
I feel like it's like the water of Rio de Janeiro. Like, it's just like, oh, you don't want it. That's kind of where our sewage goes to.
It's a literal shit water that we're in.
Yeah, then he gets taken. Gendry goes back to Dragonstone.
Yeah.
He gets to be
Meets with
part of
John,
the...
which is like a cool little forced reunion.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we could personify season 7 as a character, it's Gendry. He's like, yeah, now that I'm on screen, I'm here to get shit done.
Don't tell him who you are.
Oh, hey, I'm Robert Baratheon's bastard, dog.
I heard you're our bastard dad. We're bastards of best friends. You want to be best friends?
And I'm gonna, like, playfully rib you like we've been friends forever, because I know
You're
you'll appreciate it.
short.
And then maybe
Okay,
we'll
cool.
get bunk beds.
Yeah, so we had the Battle of the Bastards last season. Now we have the
bonding of the
Bromance
bonding
of
of
the
the-
The
best.
bromance of the bastards.
Bastards.
So sweet.
Beautiful.
Although Gendry might, he
Which
might have his eye on John's little sister. So that's all.
Who knows? We'll see.
All right, let's talk about John. How about that? John and Danny, with a soundtrack taken straight from Jurassic Park, explore some cool cave drawings. Did you hear it?
Yeah,
no,
it's
I did.
really
I got
close.
that
Like Jurassic
vibe. I got that vibe from it.
But
for
I was
sure.
in for it because there's like this cool reveal. Like he takes her into the cave and it's a little sweet. And by the way, Missandei at some point just disappears. By the way, she's with them and then all of a sudden they're alone. It's like, did she just hang back? Is she being a good wing woman right now? And then they're
Is she
just like having
thinking
this
about Grey
moment.
Worm the whole time. Because right before that, her and Danny have that delightful.
Oh, I forgot
conversation
about
with
that.
no words about Grey Worm. That's kind of fun.
How did he? What did he do? Wait, let's go get Ken and Barbie to show me how it worked. So it was good? Did he have fermented crab? What did that even do? That just
He smelled of crab.
Now I
he
have
lasted
crab.
a very long time.
But yeah, that whole thing was pretty interesting. I like the children stuff. I don't know why it's a cool.
Yeah.
I like that they don't feel a need to reveal a lot of stuff about that, and that I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. But that they may play a huge. That they're are
It
potentially
has
gonna
like
play a huge
tangential thing. Like we see the drawings of the White Walkers are very accurate.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Terrifying.
Man, they got the good artists to do these drawings.
Come here, little child of the forest who likes art.
It's the creative
you use
one.
more than one color?
Wow.
It's like a dimension to
eyes.
these drawings.
You're right.
Yeah, the religious leader of the Children of the Forest commissions. Paint their Dragonstone temple, and then
They just wanted a picture of the god tree, and what they got was
more nudity than they
Wow.
wanted.
But it's cool, like, to have that little bit of a mythical element and, like, something that is on the outskirts of what we know, but having some more hinting at it. I mean, they have a lot of glass, which is dope. That was needed. And, yeah, does anything else really happen? Here's the thing. Danny gets into him with a cave. You got to wonder if he gave her a little hint. Like, if you want some Danny, get him into a cave. And then she was like, now take a knee, bitch.
Yeah, well,
We know what she really wanted.
I mean, I guess the other stuff with John, he sees Theon again.
Oh,
Theon
yeah.
shows up while Danny is gone, and he's like, basically, like, I would kill you if you didn't help Sansa, basically.
Which is great, because, yeah, Theon's...
Yeah,
I almost feel bad for him.
yeah.
Little piece of trash.
It's weird. I don't know how to
I,
feel
I,
about
I was
Theon at
unexpected
this
for
point.
Theon to play it as cool as he did. He was very much just like, John? Like, hoping it would all blow over. I thought we'd see more a little bit of Reek show in those moments, but
Yeah.
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 It's just like,
So you gotta remember, they grew up, like, super close, but I think Theon at this point, it's like, not much else he can do than own up and just be the little no-wiener that he is.
Yeah.
And then when Danny shows back up from the loot train battle, he's just on a cliff, and she's just like, I'm gonna intimidate this dude. The ultimate entrance, really, if you're trying to court. It was like a peacock showing her feathers.
Yeah. And then he petted it.
He did. They already got to. She was like, and he was like, no. And then she was like, well, how about some heavy petting? Okay. So the dragon flies up.
Heaviest of petting.
Yeah. So she was like, if we're not
Gloves
going to do
off, fear on.
Right on the muzzle.
And it looks like he was reaching for like the gums, and then Jordan's like, "No, dog,
Yeah, I
like
was
pet
like,
my
"No,
nose." But
touch my nose."
it is saying like it's cool that he gets pet a dragon, and she clearly was like, "Oh, he's not eating him. That's good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the dragon knows what he is.
You got to think so.
Yeah.
Something in his
He's
blood.
loyal.
Yeah. Got that dragon blood.
Smell
And
of
then
dragon.
John gets cockblocked by Jorah. Shocker! The friend zone guy comes in. And it's like, oh, we got to get in front of this now.
Yeah. And then leaves, and then he just leaves again.
Yeah.
That's the thing I love about Jorah. It's just been man, he's been going through some shit to get these a 1-day military leave so he can go see this woman he's never gonna sleep with, and then leave again. It is.
Can you imagine that? You get 3 days off of a year, and he's like, okay, well, day 1, I'm traveling. Day 2, I'm going to spend at least 6 minutes with a girl who will never love me. And then day 3, I'm traveling again.
Yeah.
I think
And I'm also extremely sick because of it. I got real sick.
it's
I
the
almost
yearning
died.
he's learned to love that he just doesn't know what else to do. He
Yeah.
knows he's good at just trying to get back,
Yeah.
and that's what he's got to do.
Also, he interrupts when Danny's like, what did they mean when they said you took a knife to the heart?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Still doesn't know what that's all about.
So whatever chemistry there is between John and Danny, are you guys buying it? Do you think it works when it's it's not rushed, but it's...
Yeah, I don't think it's rushed at all. I think that I feel like most of what I'm like is I think this needs to happen for the story to work. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't think he's ever gonna bend the knee in the way that she wants him to, but he will bend both knees in another way.
in the way that she wants him to.
Yeah.
And it works out.
So, I think that to me, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the logical way that happens. But I don't know. But I'm divorced, so I know nothing.
You know nothing,
Jon Snow.
Tyler Terrace.
So I have no idea. I don't know. But that's what I'm reading it as.
Does it... I was going to make an ant joke, and it was going to disgust even me. Even me!
You buy the relationship? Are you on board?
Yeah, I'm here for it. I mean,
You ship that shit?
yeah, incest is everywhere, so I might as well start supporting it at some point.
Well, this is the best one.
Yeah,
I
this is
think
the
if I
best
had to
one
choose
so
one,
far.
if I'm gonna have to watch one, it seems better. I don't know. Unknowing incest is better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much. Also, a little bit removed in the genetic
Right.
pool there.
Yeah.
A little bit
Yeah.
more. It gives us some breathing
Not
room.
as direct.
Yeah.
I like breathing room in my incest. That's what I need.
Just tells you, don't ever, these guys are close in age, obviously, because, there's always some weird stuff. But one of the reasons I've never been into older women, I'm like, what if you're a long lost aunt? Like, anytime I had a crush on a teacher, I was like, well, this might be weird. What? What if?
That might be weird because she's a long lost aunt, not that she's your teacher and you were a child.
I feel like having a crush on your teacher is not weird.
I mean,
it's
it's not weird, but do we have to talk about it? Just gonna.
We're talking about it. Who knows more about love, me or you?
Oh, I don't want to talk about
There
this
we
at
go.
all.
Answer made. Let's go to
What's
Winterfell.
happening?
Because he watches
man.
more Hallmark movies than you do, Tyler. It's
It's
fine.
absolutely true. And The Bachelor, which I'm missing the finale to record this podcast, so
You're welcome.
don't worry. Luckily, I'm DVRing it.
I haven't heard much about this season, so I assume
it's
not
good.
great.
I
Oh,
stopped
okay.
watching after the second episode because I was bored out of my mind.
So
Oh.
this dude sucks, but we're not going to go into it. But let me tell you, good things happen because everyone dumps him and he ends up alone, which is kind of great.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm definitely going to watch it now. Thanks a lot. I hope you weren't listening to this thinking we weren't going to spoil The Bachelor, because we never promised that. We did promise we wouldn't spoil the Game of Thrones, so we've probably done that
We've
at least
never,
once.
Probably.
only once or twice, but we've never said at the beginning of the episode, like, hey, we're not going to go beyond these episodes. Like,
That's
we've
true.
never even told
That's
people
true.
that we're not going to spoil the next thing.
It's true.
But
We've
stuck to it.
Somewhat, yeah.
All right, let's talk about Bran. We can cut that whole thing out from
Yeah,
the ant stuff all the way through the Bachelor stuff.
Just the Bachelor.
Yeah,
stuff.
sure, I'll cut it.
But leave this in.
Yeah,
leave this part where I tell you
I'll-
that we talked about the Bachelor
I'll
and
make
ant
sure-
incest, and how I was worried about my teachers being my aunt, and then go on.
Oh, good. Yeah. Now that we've released those details of any context, this will be much better.
Cut the whole thing. Bran and Littlefinger for some reason just having a chat. How did that even start?
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do like when he calls him out on the Chaos is a Ladder thing.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
I did totally forget when we were talking last time about the dagger being in the book. I forgot that it shows up again.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
yeah.
these episodes.
Yeah, I
And
was...
the fact that how long Bran looks at it and is just completely ignoring Littlefinger and just like seems very enthralled by it. And then he asks him, he's like, "Do you know who owned this dagger?" I think, and he's like, "Oh, it's mine." Like, yeah. I think there's a lot more to that.
Right.
And he gives it to Arya for a reason.
Yeah, well, it's so, like, deliberate. Everything that happens with it is so deliberate, and I'm like, okay, I guess it's gonna be a big deal now. I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It'll just be weird if it doesn't go anywhere because it seems so...
Right. Well, and
heavy-handed
if
there.
nothing else, we talked about it, and if you really had forgotten it and showed up, like, we kind of just talked about it because it was a picture in that book, and so I guess good job on at least tying up a loose... Now we know where it is.
Yeah.
Which maybe is enough. And Arya just adds it to her cool Valyrian weaponry. Like, she has... Does she have the most Valyrian
What else
weapons
does she have that's
out of everyone
Valyrian?
else?
Needle isn't
Needle is
Valyrian.
Valyrian.
Needle's
isn't it?
not
Needle's
Oh,
not
is it?
not
Oh,
Valyrian.
okay, never mind.
It's just like made in the
Needle's-
north.
yeah,
That's what people
Winterfell steel.
knew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never
John had it made for her before she left. But so she is. I mean, it's cool that she has Valyrian steel now, though. That's
Yeah.
important.
I guess.
Hope she fights a White Walker.
I was talking to Katie about it, like the importance of the dagger. It's like, why would she need that dagger? Because the only thing important about Valyrian steel is
Right.
It can
White
kill
Walkers. And it's like,
But
is she
also-
gonna kill the Night King? Like, what?
Well, that's the thing, but also so can Dragon Glass, which they apparently
yeah.
have a fuck ton of now,
Yeah.
right? So, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as important as it would have a season ago. Maybe they should have done it a season ago. I don't know. Also, I would never be like, hey, like 15, 16-year-old boy, this is the dagger of the man that tried to kill you while you were asleep. Also, I'm still looking for the dagger that bastard used to kill your mom. Like, what the
Yeah.
what conversation are you having? What a weird dude.
I mean, he's
Brand was
matching
referencing.
Bran's tone with
Yeah,
his
he's turned to Bran.
with
Gas.
his lack of tact in conversation starters.
Oh, he's such a turd to Mira. I feel so bad for her.
I hate Bran. Like, every time he's on the screen, I just want to punch his dumb face because his facial expression doesn't change. And I just want to see if it'll change if he gets punched.
This is year 5 Harry Potter level shit.
yeah.
It's like, fuck off.
But at least there was enough other stuff going on, and he's
Yeah.
right. With Bran, it's just like, I mean, I guess he just has too much perspective to care now, and he hasn't had time to adjust to it. Whereas the Three-Eyed Raven seemed to have some personality, the old man one at least. But man, he's just such a deuce to Mira, and I don't know if his wiener works, but if it does, he's gonna die a virgin. What a piece of shit!
Yeah, but he's experienced all the sex anyone's ever had.
You're right.
That's
That's
true.
true.
Through the television.
What if
Sex
it would have
has been
been?
ruined for him because he's seen it too much and not actually felt the touch of it.
When Littlefinger's interviewing whores and they're like, there's that, like, probably the most porny scene in all of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if Bran would have made a quote from that.
Oh my god.
And it would be
Oh my
like, yeah, I saw that. Chaos is a ladder. I get that. But I know you.
I actually, warged into one of their heads while it was happening, so I got to experience it.
I saw your weird
oh, he can
memoir
work into
show.
past sex moments.
Yeah.
That's weird. That feels... That feels... There's no consent there.
Yeah, that's
He's definitely
Coming
doing that with all
this
his time.
fall to Netflix. My
Bran's dreams.
yeah,
Brand sex dreams.
first person porn. All right,
Sexy
let's
time
go.
with Bran.
Arya's
yeah,
back.
Yeah. Let's go there.
Yes.
And she has a cute little entrance where the people at the front don't think she's her. And she's
Yeah.
asking for people that died in
idiots.
season 1.
It's
The
weird. It's
or
like,
two.
That
it's
is.
like she's in a Shakespeare play.
Oh, yeah.
Just showing up, and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are hanging out at the gates, being funny. Weird. What a weird that's a weird thing for this show to do.
I have zero idea who those people are. I don't know.
They're in Hamlet. which is her ultimate
Is that when
end.
is that the one where he disguises himself? The king disguises himself, or am I thinking of a different one?
I think you're thinking of a different one.
Shit.
No,
as well
but
versed as
like
I'd like to be.
Hamlet, basically. I mean, I have for the last few episodes, I have said I think I want Arya's arc to end the way Hamlet's arc does, with her killing people and the play within a play, and then getting killed by her own hubris. And Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are just two dudes who are like the kind of like comic relief a little bit, and that's what these two dudes are. And Arya's in a Shakespeare play, and Lady whatever her name is not dead. Also, by the way,
The History of Shakespeare coming out on Netflix in 2020. Anyway, so Arya's back. I actually really liked her reunion with Sansa. Like, even though they didn't really like each other, like, just to have someone that close that you miss so much. And I know that the tension already starts to grow, but it is quite a lovely moment when they see each other in the crypts, and Sansa knows exactly where she's going to be.
yeah, for sure.
And Sansa knows what a badass she is because she goes toe to toe with Mother effing Brienne.
Oh my gosh, that was
really
like my
good.
favorite thing. It was so good.
Yeah, I don't feel like we get to see like. I mean, we've gotten a few times in this show where it's been like this collision of like really disparate fighting styles. It's really cool to watch Brienne and Arya fight. Like it's like one of my favorite, I think, fight scenes that we've seen in a while. It's really good.
Yeah.
Did you think it was going to go down that way? Because when she kicks her and she's just like, it's like, yeah, and she has this huge sword and she's taking swings.
Yeah.
But Arya's just so quick. I was thinking because they do that overhead shot and like there must have been some serious body double work here, but it looks dope.
It does. It looks really cool. So I'm excited to see where that partnership goes. Now Pod, I don't know what he's gonna do.
He's like, oh no.
Oh, she's taking
He's just gonna start drinking again. Probably.
drinking and whoring.
Pod.
He is an all-time underappreciated person.
It's true. But Pod and Sansa, yeah.
Pansa?
I'd be on board.
Oh.
I'd be on board with I'd be on board.
He's a gift, right? He's got to end up with someone worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
Who's it gonna be?
She deserves some good loving, but I could see Arya and Sansa ending up alone. Like, I feel like they have zero interest in romance. Like,
I don't think Arya's ending up with Gendry. A lot of people are shipping that.
No,
Oh,
I
I
think
ship
that's just
that.
an
It's
a full circle.
It's fun with
yeah.
their little banter and everything, but it's like just who Arya is. I'm pretty sure she's asexual. Like,
Yeah, I just can't see her
I
having
could
interest
totally
in
see
that.
Yeah.
I could actually totally see that.
Because from the beginning, it's Sansa's the one who wants to have her prince and all that shit.
Yeah, I could totally see as a more realistic marriage. I could see Sansa and Gendry.
yeah,
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like Gendry getting some form of royal royal recognition now.
It's too highborn.
He is House
Well,
Baratheon.
degree
right,
of highborn.
He's got king's blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The spawn of
seen it work.
Roberto and Ned coming together.
Yeah.
What else happens up there?
The whole Arya
finds the letter,
Sansa
yeah. Oh yeah.
clashing, which
Littlefinger's working his little fingers.
Sounds like it's a good thing. Yeah, I'm glad Arya's not in charge of anything because she's just like, kill you. Does anyone else want to say anything? I don't like that look. Kill you. Like she definitely is not fit for
Command.
ruling.
Yes.
Yeah, command maybe at some point.
Oh, okay,
not
command
now.
of, like-
not now for sure.
I don't know. She's more of a she's more of a rogue
Yeah, no,
fighter.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think when she mentions the list and then she acts like it's a joke, and then later on Bran's like, "Oh, that's the person on your list," and Sansa's like, "Oh shit, this is real." Am I on your list?
Yeah, she's like, so who else is on your list?
How old is this list? Are we going back to like when we were really young?
I'm so sorry I made fun of your sewing. I mean, you're real shit at it, but I'm so sorry. Get me off that
scene was
list.
a little weird for me because for multiple reasons. I saw both like different parts of the arguments. I was on different sides of it because Arya has some harsh truths for Sansa,
right.
but then Arya's way of handling things would be complete shit.
Yeah.
And
Well, and like I honestly, the way Sansa handled this situation, I think, is not bad. Like,
Yeah.
I think that it's the type of diplomacy that's needed for there right now. Because honestly, they're kind of right. Jon he's not a great king
Yeah.
so far. but he didn't want to be either. You know what I mean? And so, but I totally get, like, I totally understand where the Northern Lords are coming from, where they're like, he was supposed to be here, and now you're a girl.
Yeah, especially when you
like,
think of how long it's actually probably been, because we get one of the first mentions of time in these episodes of Sam saying, "Oh yeah, I met Brandon Stark." What
Years
is that?
ago.
Yeah,
Years ago.
years ago, and it's like, oh, okay.
Even
now we
though
have
the
a
baby's only like 2.5.
we've got a frame of reference now,
Right.
Like, so to think how long, I'm guessing John's been there for probably like 6 months.
Probably.
Like,
Yeah, sure.
I mean, people have gone a lot of different places while he's been there.
Yeah.
It's
And
been
so
a little crazy.
He's been there for a while, and yeah, I could see why they'd be getting antsy a bit.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah,
I didn't buy I guess, and maybe it's just because so much time passes off screen in this season. It just, that scene escalated to a point that I wasn't ready for it to go to narratively yet.
Yeah.
Of like Arya being like, essentially like hinting like, I get rid of people that are in my way, and
Yeah.
you're kind of getting in my way. Like, and so I was like, I don't know if I buy that yet.
Yeah.
So I was a little conflicted in that scene. I liked it, but I also had some qualms with it.
Yeah.
Are you guys worried about what Littlefinger's doing? Like, clearly he's trying to mess with some things, and he's already got two very tense women who have some anger towards each other.
That's his specialty. He ran a business off of that.
Yeah. That's the little finger combo plate.
You.
Oh man,
I don't know. What do you think, Riley?
like the letter. I mean,
Yeah. What was the letter? Because I just, like, I know that it was from
Yeah.
Sansa, but, like,
I
did
think
they...
it's the one from season 2.
season 1. Oh no, you're right. It's season 2.
where she
tells Robb to bend the knee.
Yeah, that Cersei makes her right essentially.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I rewound once and like kind of tried to pick
I
it
did
out,
too.
and then I was like, whatever.
It's like, I saw it was from Sansa, I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just be surprised.
Yeah. It's like, we'll find out later.
Yeah. I guess like my thing is,
Are you just not that intrigued by what's going on in Winterfell right now?
I don't. Well, I don't think the Littlefinger stuff is very interesting because the Littlefinger stuff that has happened before, it happens every few episodes, and we don't see a lot of the background, but it's fine because it's just revealing new information all the time. This, we're not really seeing him do much that we can discern, you know what I mean? And so I feel like whatever he is going to do might feel a little bullshit third acty flip tables to me, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, I know something is going to happen with him. I feel like I'm predisposed in this moment to be like, meh, dumb.
Yeah.
I never
That's how I
thought he'd
feel.
I
win,
don't know.
but there are definitely points where it's like he's making some of the bigger moves in the kingdom without people realizing it.
Right, yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
pissed if he won, though. I think that'd be stupid.
It depends how they did it. I think it'd be really interesting to do, but
It,
it
could
would
be
almost
interesting,
be.
but it is one of those things that I don't feel like it would be very satisfying just because of the way we see his character. You know what I mean? Like I'm saying, like I don't really feel like we can be on his side because there's so much distance between us, you know? So I don't know. So it's weird. I don't know how to feel about it. I know it's leading to something, but like I'm content to be like, just show me when we get there.
Yeah.
I wanna watch this other stuff.
Yeah.
We should mention Bran goes and spies on the army of the Night King. He sees them with his warg crows, and then that's important because it then gives letters to Sam and to John and to a bunch of people that's like they're headed towards Eastwatch.
Yeah.
Eastwatch by the
That's where
sea.
all the wildings are.
Yeah. And so important
Where the
tidbit.
wild ings are.
Wildlings. You make my heart freeze. Sorry, I'm so sorry that just happened. And then let's hit Sam before we go to the Magnificent Seven remake. Sam walks into the teacher's lounge at the perfect time.
Yeah.
They're just talking about how that raven from Winterfell is probably BS.
Yeah, and he's like, no, it's probably real. And they're like, did you clean my chamber pot, you dumb idiot?
Or go
Your
read a
opinion
book.
does not matter.
Yeah. And then they end up deciding to leave Old Town. I honestly, it's weird. All of his stuff since he
Yeah.
left the wall has been weird. It's like, so he got rid of Jorah's stone skin, but didn't and got a cool sword, so that's good.
He got to learn a little bit.
Didn't
Yeah.
he steal some books from the restricted section? As
Yeah,
well,
he
Yeah.
took something.
He finds some. He found that the dragon glass was under dragon. So like
Yeah.
he does important things, but it is interesting that it felt like so much had led him there. But that's another consequence of this story. It's got to end.
He feels incredibly like a character of utility at this point.
Yeah.
He's like, we need to get them this information somehow. While Sam is in the place he's basically in the Wikipedia of Westeros. So
He went
he'll
through his
send him a
arc.
tweet.
But Gilly reads some important information,
Yeah.
and Sam's just chilling. Yeah, tell me about
my
it.
Gosh, let me find it in here because I'm bad with names. Okay, so she says that Rhaegar, which we know that's not how you say his name,
Right.
you know, but he had an annulment of his marriage and was remarried to someone in Dorne.
And
at
who was
some
in Dorne?
point.
Giving some birthy birth?
Mm-hmm.
Give him
Yes.
some birthday. Yeah, so again, here's another piece of information
Yeah.
that Sam is going to deliver to people.
Well, he's
I
like
assume at some point.
mansplaining.
But he wasn't
his
even
way-
listening, so I'm like,
Yeah.
will
Right,
Gilly
yeah.
just go and be like, oh, here's all these facts I
What's
have.
an annulment?
Just like roll down them.
Well, Gilly just
There's this many
say
stairs,
it.
many windows. There's a marriage annulment.
Oh, yeah. This is kind of a fun way to slip in there. She's also like, yeah, he recorded all his bowel movements.
She's really
Yeah.
fun at dinner parties.
Yeah, no, that was fun. I
Mm-hmm.
like,
Sam does have a really good line, though. He says, I'm sick of reading of the achievements of other men.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And then he gives up his dream for the good of the nation.
which is what his
Yeah.
dad tells him, right? I mean, which that line felt a little bittersweet to me because isn't that the thing that his dad tells him about going to Old Town? He's like,
Yeah.
so you're gonna spend your days reading about the
Yeah.
Achievements of Edward. Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't know his dad and brother are dead yet.
right.
So
Yeah,
is
because
he,
they didn't
like-
tell him.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
guy didn't
and
tell
in
him.
the teacher zones, they're talking about it. Like, oh, he
Yeah.
doesn't know that stuff. I mean, not that he'd be heartbroken, but he would be like, oh, I'm lost Starly.
right,
Mhm.
yeah.
My
Yeah.
poor mum.
So is he like, at this point, we don't know where he's going. Right? He just
No,
left.
he just leaves.
Right, yeah. I'm not sure where he's going.
He just dips on out. And then, so we find out that this is really important, and they've got to prove to the world that the whites are real. And so they're like, well, let's go get one.
Yeah.
And that's the mother effing plan. And so we get like this dope mix of characters.
Oh,
One of the
that's
best
gotta be good.
cliffhangers we've ever had. Well, I don't know if it's cliffhanger as much as just like them walking beyond the wall
It's
and
like
just
a really dope.
Oh,
It's like the
Yeah.
announcement
So
of the
cool.
All-Star starters. It's
yeah.
Mhm.
It. I mean, just to see all
Star
those great
Squad.
fighters in one place, and John's like, I'm going. And it's like, did you need to go? I do like how Davos is like, I'm going to stay back. I'm kind of a liability, and Tormund's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, we don't want you here.
I mean, I think the only thing that could have made this scene better was to have a
Have it
kick
be in a
song
play.
playing and be it very slow motion, like Wes Anderson, as they're coming
The
out of
walk.
like
Yeah.
like the gate just opens and they come out to like some '60s like rock, like because yeah, it's awesome. And we got Beric and the Dondarrions and
Everybody got up there
Hound
real
is
quick.
back.
Gendry. Yeah, they're so fast.
I like how Gendry's like, I hate these people. They're like, you know what? We're all breathing. Let's just go for it. And it's like, which queen do you want to serve? The Dragon Empress or the Incest Queen? Like, we don't have a lot of options at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, that was really exciting. I'm stoked. I'm really excited to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that moment gets
Yeah.
I tell you, the next two episodes, like a lot of the things, I don't think they come out of left field, but you're just like, holy shit, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm
It's
excited.
awesome. It's so
It'll be
fun.
cool.
yeah, like the next two episodes move probably.
Even
The time that passes off screen is substantially larger than anything we've seen already. Like
That's awesome.
like the first 6 seasons, I think in season 7, that time, I don't know if it passes by, but it's not. It can't be that far with the way people are just like
it's
King's
like,
Landing,
it's
the
got-
wall.
It's like 3 seasons worth of
Yeah.
these. Like
Oh, but
it's-
it's
this,
fun.
these last two episodes are probably like a season worth of travel.
That's cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
That's exciting to me.
Oh, what do you think's gonna happen?
Oh man, I don't.
Are we done? Are we get through everyone?
What?
Did we
I
get
think
through everyone?
so. Yeah.
I think so.
That's
I'm
good.
through my notes. Did you guys have any
Yeah, I'm
other
through
important
mine.
things we
I
thought
think
about?
that's everything.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, pretty normal
Sweet.
time.
Yeah.
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 Man, yeah. I mean, I think something. I feel like there's going to be a conflict at Winterfell. I don't know exactly what that is. I hope Littlefinger is killed. Man, somebody's going to die beyond the wall. I
That's
hope
gonna
it's
be
not the
sad.
Hound. What I really want before the end of this show is one more scene with Arya and the Hound. I don't really know. The rest of it, I'm just kind of like, I'm along for the ride at this point. I'm not sure if I have a concrete idea of what happens next. I don't feel like Dany attacks King's Landing. I feel like we don't have the conflict of like Dany and Cersei yet, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hearing you guys talk about how much time passes, I don't know. It could be anything.
Anything can
Well,
happen.
I mean, I think we know there's two major conflicts, right? The South versus the North / Dany, and then the Night King stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm just excited.
Yeah.
And then you guys will be caught up.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
this
crazy.
is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, next time we record, we will all have watched the same number of episodes of Game of Thrones.
We will.
That's
And
bizarre.
then you guys can like watch the trailer and theorize and read
Yeah.
Reddit if you want.
Yeah,
Just
we can finally get
Don't
on
get
Reddit
yourself
again.
spoiled. You can go watch people get decapitated if you want, because that's all I assume Reddit is for.
That is. There's also kids falling down. Okay.
It's what we used to have Vine for.
But yeah, I'm excited. Do you have any predictions or anything?
I don't know. At this point, I feel like everything's so up in the air that I don't know where it's all gonna end up. But I don't think that Dany will go to King's Landing by the end of the season because I feel like that's what the last season's gonna be. Yeah, I feel like beyond the wall, someone will die, and I want it to be Gendry just because I don't super care about him.
Just got
I mean,
back.
Just got here,
I know
Riley.
that's why I don't care because
Let
like
it be
the
Jorah.
Hound
He's
can't
rode
die.
for
done that
4
twice already.
Yeah, I guess Jorah. I don't really care about Jorah
Yeah,
either.
I'm just kidding.
But everyone else.
Give me a
won't
death
come
prediction.
back.
Who do you think? Give me some. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen as far as death?
I feel like it could be Jorah because I feel like he's kind of run his.
It could be Jorah.
Yeah.
I could see it being Beric. Like I could see this being his last stand.
Yeah.
and
The time he's not revived.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Did you assume by now we would have more dead people? Period. Because when this season was going on, there was a death pool that this pop culture website did, and it was just like, guess who's gonna die every week? And like, I just expected there to be just a major death almost all the way through because we're down to a handful of characters,
Yeah.
but we still have a lot of people to go.
Yeah.
Not that everyone needs to die. I hope this is not a perfect storm situation where everybody dies, but
Yeah. I don't think it will be. Like, I don't get that sense. I do think, being this far into the season, I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was only, like, 1 or 2 deaths, and then it was just a lot of stuff next season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like the characters that are left, I'm like, cool. These are characters I
They're
like.
important, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like their deaths will be better suited in the last moments, in the kind of climactic moments in the final conflict, whatever that turns out to be.
There
So,
are
Yeah.
less than 10 episodes left total of Game of Thrones.
for you,
yeah, only
8
8
left.
left.
Yeah.
But and we'll do a preview pod for the new season. But we know a few things, like we know the run times of the 6 episodes
Oh, yeah,
and
I just
everything.
saw that. Yeah.
So it's exciting. Like it's coming down to it. It's a little sad. But hey, that was us rewatching season 7 episodes.
4 or 5.
4 and 5 from the one. Those are brought to you by Netflix canceled shows. Of course, the original show, House of Cards. We encourage you to re-binge it. Just pretend Kevin Spacey's not a terrible person.
Yeah, go watch Lilyhammer.
Yeah, man, if there's one show we talk about 50 years from now, it's Lilyhammer. It'll be within the conversations of Schindler's List, The Godfather, and Lilyhammer.
Steve Van Zandt won't be remembered for the time he spent playing lead guitar for Bruce Springsteen, but he will be remembered for Lilyhammer. I won't let him forget.
Hashtag never forget. I think this podcast is over.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. You're right.
Bye.
It's over.
Okay.